Hey friends, Andrea here. Today I'm going to be making a quick little birthday card. It's going to be a spring floral birthday card, and I have my pre-cut. This would be 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I cut it in half so that it's actually 8.5 by 5.5 inches. So I'm going to fold that over and make my card base, and then I have this beautiful floral paper that has some gold foil accents, and I thought it was like the perfect paper for spring, and it would be such a lovely card to receive in the mail with all these beautiful flowers. I'm going to go ahead and just make my folded card, just moving that other stuff aside. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold in half, and I'm just really like lining up the corners here and then pressing it with my bone folder to get a nice crease. So that's done. I want to set that aside, and now I need to trim down my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my big paper trimmer. This paper trimmer is large. It won't even fit in the screen, but this paper trimmer is my go-to when I'm trying to cut my sheets of paper down. And so what I'm doing is I'm gonna go find the 4-inch mark on my trimmer, and I'm putting my paper in alignment with the 4-inch mark on my trimmer. So I just kind of make sure it's in alignment at the top and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and trim it, and I apologize, it's kind of noisy. Alright, so I think that that piece has the blue and the pink, and there's a little bit of orange and that gold sparkle, so I'm going to use that piece. I'm going to put that aside, move my paper trimmer out of the way. And next, I'm going to go ahead and glue down my card mat onto my base. This is just going to be a really simple card that I can put in the mail or send flat. So I'm going to just put this tape runner along the outer edge. Okay, just going to get that one little edge a little bit more. And then I'm just going to put my card down here, and that is exactly how I want it. And I'm just kind of using my fingers to kind of gently hold that in place so that I can get it really lined up and perfectly centered on my card base. So now it's centered, and I have a couple of stamps that I was thinking about using. This set is from the Dollar Tree, and it has this little Make-A-Wish, and then this other guy is a little flower that says Happy Birthday, and I feel like the flower would make sense because it's here, it's got that little, it's already got flowers, and it would kind of be unobtrusive, I guess. So I've never used that stamp. I'm going to go ahead and try it out. And I just am going to get a scrap of paper to stamp onto. I found this little scrap that is kind of got that similar shade of blue, and it looks kind of watercolored. And I'm going to stamp on it, and then I'll put it down on my card. And I'm hoping that it will be big enough to fit a punch. And I think this is 1.5 inch punch. Oops, can't quite get it there. But yeah, I think it'll be just perfect if I punch it out. So that's my game plan, and then I'll just glue it down right onto the card. And if I do decide to add any other decorative elements, I can do that with maybe like a Sharpie or a sparkle pen. But I think it'll just, the paper speaks for itself. Okay, so this is my VersaFine pigment ink. This is what I usually use for stamping. And I want to get a good solid image on this. So to get a nice clean image on my paper, since I just have this little bit of scrap, I don't want anything to go to waste. What I'm going to do is lay it on a piece of craft foam. This is just some cheap craft foam that I have no idea I couldn't tell you how long I've had it, but I've had it for a super duper long time. And I'm just putting it down here so that I have a place to kind of like make a soft impression when I stamp, and that helps me get nice even ink coverage or impression, I guess. So I've got my stamp already on my acrylic block, and I'm going to go ahead and attempt to stamp it here. And I'm going to leave room on all 3 edges here just so I can get a nice cut out with my paper punch. So I'm just pressing down. I'm not wiggling, I'm just pressing down firmly. And that turned out really nicely. And I'll go grab my paper punch. So I'm just getting it aligned as in the center as I can and punching it out. So it's not white, and you can tell that it's not white when you compare the two, but it's subtle, very subtle. But it just is enough that it's not going to be really, really white on the background. But I'm also really glad that I didn't use white, because I can use up this scrap of paper that I've had for a million years in my stash. And it feels to me like it's just missing something, and I don't know what that is. If I just glue it down straight up like that, it just needs some extra little pizzazz. So I think what I'm going to do is add some gold Sharpie. I think this is the gold. And I'm going to put that on, you know, see how there's some little dots here? Kind of like a little shiny gold pattern. I think I'm going to just kind of try to repeat that around the edges of this to kind of tie it in. So wish me luck. I'm just going to kind of try to do that random grouping. And see if I can recreate it a little bit. It's not going to be gold foiled, but it just gives it a little bit more visual interest, I think, to help it stand out. Yeah, I'm going to just go like that. And I'm just trying to get it so it looks like it's kind of going off the page there. I kind of like how that looks. I feel like it just needs something else too, and I'm not sure what that might be. I'm going to brainstorm. I think maybe popping it off on a piece of black cardstock might be the right choice. So I don't have a paper punch that is just slightly bigger than this one. This, I think, is a 1 1/4 inch paper punch. And so my next step would be to use, I'm going to use this little stencil and try to cut out this should be just like 1/8 of an inch bigger. And this, I think, is a 1 1/2 inch circle stencil. So I'm going to try and cut that. It might just be easier for me to like draw with a pencil and then cut out with a pair of scissors. I just don't trust myself to get a perfect circle with scissors. So I'm going to try using my X-Acto knife and this stencil. I can't say that it's perfect or that it turned out well, but it's done. That's what matters. And of course now I can't find my little stamped piece. I found my stamped piece. I'm just going to glue that down. Just the tiniest amount of a border. I felt like it just needed something to pop off to my black circle, and just try to get an even amount of border on all edges. And if I look closely, it is not perfect. It's not perfectly cut out because my hand just is not that even. It's not the best looking, but I don't care. It's gonna not be noticeable when you glue it down onto the card. So I do kind of gravitate towards putting it right here down in the bottom, just so that it doesn't cover up any of these big beautiful flowers. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I guess I'm trying to figure out which direction I want this. I think I want this little dotty thing to go in that direction. And so I'm going to glue it down right here. And it just doesn't feel done yet. I think it needs one more little something. And I'm going to just add, it has gold sparkle, but I'm just going to add a little bit of shimmer with this glitter. And I know it's not quite the same color gold. It's a little bit more of a yellow gold, and that's okay. What I'm going to do is just try to put it a little bit on these areas where those little, I don't know what those are, flower stamens are. Just very thinly, just to add a little something extra. Maybe I'll put a little bit here. And so because I'm adding it there, I want to also add it here. And I'm just going to put it a little bit on top of where I've put my gold dots on this, just to kind of help it tie in a little bit better, because it was a little awkward looking. I have always wanted to try one of those gold foil pens that you can buy, and see if how that works, because that would be cool to use the gold foiling pen to add gold foil to a stamped image. I think I might just also do a little bit right here. Just feels like it needs something. And I think I'm going to call that done. I'm just kind of cleaning up some of my glitter here with my fingernail. You could use tweezers. I'm going to let it dry a little bit so that the gold glitter that I just added can dry off a little bit, but I didn't have to do a lot. This paper kind of does all the heavy lifting for itself, and I just wanted a really low impact sentiment or stamped image to kind of tie the rest of it together, so that you can tell it's a birthday card and not like a get well or a hello or a Mother's Day card or something like that. But this paper could really work for any of those occasions. So I'm gonna go ahead and just let you take a look at it here. And I have in the description box all of the tools that I'm using, and at least for the most part. And then if there's any other types of videos you'd like to see, or tutorials, or anything that you'd want me to demonstrate, please let me know in the comments. And definitely like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content, so that really helps my channel out. So I hope you're having a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!